Welcome, everybody. College basketball action. There's some early action tomorrow morning in the NCAA, and we're going to touch on 3 of those games from an article from an SBR handicapper. And also, I'm going to put an early game out today for tomorrow to give you an early edge and a jump, and there's a reason behind the madness. Now, St. John's takes on Butler tomorrow, and, you know, these are 2 teams kind of struggling at the moment, but St. John's in the long run really has got to be scratching his head. All right, new coach Chris Mullen, he used to play there, and it was a wonderful hire when they brought him in, but I think Coach Mullen's finding it a lot harder, you know, to step in and get the job done day in and day out in college basketball. There's just too much talent, and it does not help whatsoever that Marcus Lovett, who was their prized recruit, was ruled ineligible and will not be suiting up this year, will not be playing. All right, he was supposed to be the floor general for that team. They're 7-11 straight up, St. John's is. They're 5-9 and 2 against the spread, so not a lot of bang for your buck with St. John's. Now, Butler, on the other hand, they dropped the decision 60-55 against a very good Villanova team. All right, but they felt that they should have had that contest, and they let it slip away. All right, they failed to cover 7 out of the last 8 games Butler has. So, you know, they've lost 3 of 4 in league games, so they really got to tighten up, and they got it. I think this is going to be the game to right the ship and get back on track. Now, it was recommended as a lean from our SBR writer and handicapper, and the line was -13. And I agree with that lean. I think that would probably be safe because St. John's is lost. There's nobody just taking over the scoring role on that team. So I think Butler straightens it out against St. John's. So on a lean, take Butler -13 in college basketball on that game. And our second game that's very interesting is Virginia Tech traveling to Georgia to take on Georgia Tech. All right, now Virginia Tech's had a very interesting year. They're 11-6 straight up. They're 5-6 against the spread, but they had that real big win against in-state rival Virginia last week. And then their last time out, they were at home. They won 93-91 against a very good Wake Forest team who is up and coming. Now, here's the thing. Against Wake Forest, Virginia Tech outscored them on the free throw line 29-12. So they're very consistent in their free throw shooting, and that goes a long way in college basketball. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, is 11-6 on the year. They're 9-5-1 against the spread. They lost last time out to Notre Dame 72-64. All right, but when they have been used by SBR in video picks, they're 3-0-1. So they seem to be very productive. And again, the handicapper here is putting a lean on Georgia Tech. Now, the line is not yet available, but the article includes that, you know what, no matter what that line is, comfortably put a lean on Georgia Tech. They should get it done at home. And Virginia Tech might be running out of gas after its last couple of ball games that really went down to the wire and took everything they had to finish them. And another game that's very interesting is the Cincinnati Bearcats against the Temple Owls. These 2 squads met not even a month ago, and Cincinnati was favored by 11.5 at home. Temple went in there and they whooped that ass 77-70, getting an outright win. So that's going to be fresh in the minds of Cincinnati. And I think that's why there's no problem for them going into Temple and getting revenge. Coach Mick Cronin, I like this guy. He's going to have his Bearcats ready to go. He knows how to get into a team's head and get psychological advantage that they need when going against an opponent. Now, right now, I think Temple, they might be a little cocky, maybe a little overconfident because they already got that big win in Cincinnati. So I think Cincinnati might be catching Temple a little lax, and I think that's going to bode very well. The line, interesting enough, has Cincinnati favored -3.5, and the lean from our SBR handicapper and writer is recommending Cincinnati, and I'm going to back that one up 10 times. I love it. All right, Cincinnati Bearcats on a lean in that game, -3.5. All right, to get revenge against Temple. Now, there's one other game that's not in the article, but I was looking at my information today, and I think this is going to be worthy of bringing this up as a pick for tomorrow on an early edge, and I'll give you the reason why. Missouri is playing South Carolina. South Carolina was undefeated. They're ranked, and they lost their last game, and they didn't just lose. All right, they got whooped. All right. Coach Frank Martin is absolutely going to have this team ready. He's that coach. He's almost like a Bobby Knight. If you fit into his system and you buy into what he's selling, all right, you're the right pick for that school. You're going to produce and you'll probably get an NBA career. But if you don't, you'll butt heads with him. And that's how this coach is. So I know he's pissed off after that last loss. They got their asses handed to them. All right. Missouri last year, okay, this game was tight for a while, but then South Carolina pulled away. Now, the first half is where the edge is in this game. Now, the line is not yet released, but I am going to be doing a podcast or a Periscope later in the day to bring you an updated line because there will be one later on. No matter what, whatever the first half is, all right, with South Carolina, that's where you're going to get the bang for the buck. Trust me. Tomorrow, early basketball, I believe the game tips off at 12 or 1 Eastern. Take South Carolina on the first half against Missouri. That's a revenge game, and that's a coach that will have his team ready to play. So bang your buck tomorrow with South Carolina in the first half against Missouri, and don't forget about the games we covered earlier. All right, college basketball action. Don't miss it.